So here I was, with my new friend Ben, who's telling me, hey, like, I think we can make money doing this. And that summer, we start the brand, and I'm working for a research attorney in the courthouse. His name is Abe, and I have a story about this in my book. But as I'm working for him, he's realizing every day, as he's instructing me in the law and explaining legal theory and teaching me how to research cases, that I'm spending most of this time doodling in my black book designs or working on the website at my computer on our online shop and all this stuff and the blog. And the very last day of work, he comes to me, sits me down, and I should preface this by saying that Abe was slowly dying that summer. It was well known in the courthouse that he was suffering from a bout of cancer. And in fact, those last few weeks of work, he really wasn't around much, and he couldn't, he really couldn't even stand up straight. So he shows up on the last days. It's like, hey man, like, it was a great experience, being your mentor and being a research attorney during your internship here. How did you feel the summer one? I was like, it was great. He's like, you did phenomenal. You're one of the best interns I've ever had in the decades I've been doing this. But I gotta say, he's just like, you're gonna be very successful. He said, you're gonna have all the money, you're gonna have all the girls, all the cars and the homes, like plural, and I was just like, yo, like, this is tight. Like, sign me up. I'm
Yeah.
good to go. And he stops me short and he says, but you should never be a lawyer. And I was like, what? You just said that I was going to be successful. So he's just like, oh, yeah, for sure. If you do this, you're
Hmm.
going to be just fine. You're going to have a really hardy career, a robust career as an attorney. You're going to become really well known for this because you're really good at it. But you shouldn't do it because every day when we go out to lunch, we sit down. What do we talk about? We don't talk about the case or the memo that we're working on. We're talking about this thing you're building called the hundreds, in which if you have to put yourself back into that time, the hundreds wasn't a thing yet. It was just an idea. I didn't even have one physical garment to show for it. Not a website, nothing. There was no social media at the time, so I couldn't even park a handle. And so I was just like, what? He's just like, I can see the way you light up when you talk about this thing that you're working on. Bobby, that's where your heart is. He's just like, look, he was in his low 40s. It's like, I'm 40 years old. I've spent the entire life doing the law, my entire life doing the law. And he's just like, and I love it. It's my passion. I was built for this. But, and he's like, and I have no regrets. He's just like, but look, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be in your 40s like me. And you're going to wonder why you spent your entire life doing something you didn't really love. Life goes by that fast. It is really that short. And this is me. I'm 23 years old. And when you're 23, the idea of being in your 40s is a galaxy away.
Hmm.
And I couldn't fathom it. I was just like, what? Like, no, And he's just like, you don't understand. It goes fast. And look at me. I'm about to die, and I'm leaving this planet with no regrets. Like, I don't want you to have that either. And so it's just like, okay. And so that was the day that I decided to own my future. It's the first time that I decided to make the choices for myself instead of listening to my parents, listening
Yeah.
to what other people were telling me, even what the industry was telling me, because we had friends in the industry who were telling us, don't get into this, you're never going to make it, right? A lot of haters, a lot of
Wow.
critics. And that was day one. And that day, even though we were broke, even though there was no the hundreds, that was the most successful day of my life, right? When people are like, when did you know you made it as a businessman? I'm like, the day that I chose to own this thing and just commit to doing this. Like, that
Right.
was the day I was liberated, right? Like, I was
Yeah.
free that day. I'll never feel as good as I felt that day.